cadence is different things. It's, you know, basically it's beat and rhythm and frequency. So when we run, our body, there's been a bunch of research that's shown there's a more ideal cadence that we should be running at. And then basically the reason for that is at that particular cadence, your body's kind of utilizing its elasticity most efficiently. Most people, their cadence is too low, so what that means is they're taking too long and too few of strides. So cadence, like I said, how many steps you're taking in a given amount of time. What most people are taking around 150 to 160 steps per minute. And like I said, what that causes is overstriding, too long, too few of strides. So what most people can focus on is taking slightly shorter strides and slightly more frequent strides. It doesn't mean running faster. I think a lot of people, associate a higher cadence with running faster. And like I said, that's not the case, because what determines how fast we move forward is how hard we push backwards. So, if you're running and you have too long of a stride and too short of a stride, you're pushing back with a certain amount of force. So if you can focus on shortening that stride from in front of you, pushing back with the same amount of force, you're going to take slightly shorter steps with slightly more frequent steps. That doesn't necessarily have to change your pace. Does that make sense? So to feel like, so what another side effect of cadence being too low is, I don't know if you guys felt jogging in place. If you're kind of bouncing back and forth at a slow rate, you're gonna have to pause, reaccelerate, pause, reaccelerate. So you're actually using more energy, as opposed to if you start speeding that up, you kind of get to a point, there's kind of a natural equilibrium where you're utilizing, like with your legs and the tendons, ligaments, they're like little rubber bands. And if you just take something that's rubbery like that and kind of find its natural elasticity, like you can start playing with it to the point where it stretches and contracts at a very, I guess, rhythmic rate, as opposed to stretching it, holding it, and then like snapping it back. That there's not a lot of rhythm to that. So what I want you guys to do is actually do that. Kind of start one foot and then switch back to the other. Just slowly increase the rate at which you do that, and then keep going to the point where it feels like your foot just barely has a chance to hit, settle, and then come back up. Kind of right about that rate, and you'll find, so this is a little metronome, you can kind of get in tune with that. This is 180 beats per minute, so this is what your body should ideally be at. So what most people do is around 160, and at 160 it's just a little low, and we'll start running again so you guys can feel this, but cadence, it's a good thing to focus on because it's something you can count. So next time you guys are out running, or even if you're out running today, count and see what you're at right now. The easiest way to count is count one leg, count for 30 seconds, to see how many times that leg's hitting the ground. It's probably going to be somewhere between 38 and 40 strikes. Ideally, you want to get it up to 45 to 47. And that kind of extrapolates to that 180 number that I was talking about. So the reason I think cadence is another good thing to focus on is it starts to tie in to the rest of what we already kind of talked about. With the slightly higher cadence and shorter steps, you're naturally going to, pull that leg from out here back underneath you. You're going to be landing on the middle part of your foot. You're landing with a little bit of bend in the knee. And like I said, it's something that you can count and kind of keep track of. So I want you guys to go ahead and head back up to the sidewalk here.